All right, what up, everyone? Jon Mosales here, the host of the NFL Fantasy Today show. I got my special guest, Rick Kamla. We're doing the sequel. I think it was decision, the first round. You're a big Rocky guy, right?
I do like the movies. Big Rocky 4 guy, but to say I'm a big Rocky guy, I'm not sure I would say that.
Okay, I grew up with the VHSs, so I watched them, every weekend. But so it's August 27th. This is fantasy football week, right? There's drafts going on. I'm in slow drafts. There's fast drafts. There's mock drafts. There's there's news breaking every hour. So Rick, how are you handling this week? What's going on? And also, thanks for coming on.
It's my pleasure, John. Great to be back on the air with you, man. It's a busy time, John. It is. All the stuff we have going on over in the basketball division. We're doing shows 4 times a week, and I've got a WNBA show. And so we got all that. And then you've got all this stuff. Trying to close the deal on WNBA championships, John. I'm in 4 championship rounds of that. I know you think I'm crazy, but I'm looking to close those deals. Last year I was 3 out of 4 in winning chips. This year I'm trying to be 4 out of 7. It dipped a little bit because of Caitlin Clark. She never plays. And then fantasy baseball, trying to close the deal on chips there. I'm in 10 fantasy baseball leagues. So it's a super busy time, John. And last night I did a high stakes college football fantasy draft. John, I'm going to make you laugh here. The format: 4 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 6 wide receivers, tight end, and flex. And it's all of college football, 134 teams, all of Division I. And it's a high stakes thing. So that took about 2.5 hours last night, man. So it's a busy time, but there's nothing I'd rather be doing.
Okay, so yeah, in the pre-show you asked me how many leagues I'm in. How many leagues are you in? Let's say NFL football, because otherwise we're getting 3 digits.
It's like 12 or 13 NFL, and like when you add in the college, it'll be around 15.
Wow. And then how do you prioritize? Do you do it by, like I said, I do mine by the buy-in? Do you have how long you've been doing it? Who you're doing it with?
No, John, you already know. It's buy. It's buy. You go where the money is. Okay, if it's a 250, a 150, a 1, it all stacks. And then obviously the Cam Dynasty, right? Like that's my backyard. I mean, so that's obviously gonna, but I groom all of my teams, dude. I know you do too. Like those are your backyards. You got to groom them. You got to manicure them. They got to be updated every single day. So it's our lifestyle, man.
Okay, yeah. So we're going to dive into all sorts of stuff. Let's just stay here for a second. So you got all these teams. Do you have a strategy? Like, do you have my guys? Do you try and spread it out? Do you try and maybe take, I'm just going to go all in on the couple second, third round guys, and if they don't hit, I'm screwed. But if they do, I'm set. Are you trying to win it all? Win most of it? Just be in contention?
Well, I'm always trying to win it all.
Yeah,
yeah, and I don't deviate. In baseball, I've got a method, John, and it's a hardcore method. It's very deviant from the way everybody else plays, and I dominate because of that. I don't deviate from it, and I don't have a methodology in football that is blanketly dominant is my method in baseball, because they're different sports and the math is different and the unpredictability of the sports is different. But yeah, man, I do have my guys. I've got guys that I'm avoiding, the career year guys like Saquon Barkley. Will not have a single share of Saquon Barkley on any team because he's coming off of 2,000 yards, and every 2,000 yard rusher crashes to earth the next year. And I think he will. James Cook, another guy. I like Ray Davis. James Conner's 1,000 years old. I kind of like Trey Benson. I like James Conner, I do, but the guy's old. He's in the last year of his deal with Arizona. I think it's time for that transition to occur where they get a little Trey Benson direction. So he's a sleeper that I've really been trying to go after. I like Tyrone Tracy. I think the Cam Scatabo stuff is super fraudulent, John.
Really?
Yeah. Like his body type is not that of a guy that's going to last. Like he doesn't have quick twitch. He had a horrible 40 time. A lot of times you see Cody Schrader, for example, complete rock star at Missouri, unbelievable college player, horrible 40 time. He's barely on a roster. Okay, so the league is going to chew up and spit out Carson Steele. The league is going to chew up and spit out Will Shipley. And these guys, these guys aren't going to last very long at all. And Cam Scatabo falls into that.
We got a lot to cover, but so Will Shipley. So you don't like Saquon, so you don't have a natural A plus B equals Will Shipley?
I do with Ray Davis in Buffalo, to your point, but no, I mean, I'm kind of on an AJ Dillon thing, but I thought I read that he's third. No, trust me, I'm not into AJ Dillon, but of those two guys, I like AJ Dillon a lot more than Will Shipley. Look, man,
Wow.
I watched Will Shipley's entire career at Clemson. His
Yeah,
entire
that's why I defer
career.
to you, right?
Like used him in fantasy, college football fantasy and stuff. I mean, I'm very, very, very familiar with Will Shipley. His measurables weren't great. His 40 time was. I'm obsessed with 40 time, man. Obsessed, because that's what translates to the NFL. You got to be able to move those puppies.
Okay. So, oh my God, there's just so much I want to go to. Okay, so we're going to cover the NFC team, so that's going to take us a while. I just want to go quickly to the mock draft, because we're talking about guys we like, and the problem is us fantasy guys, like, we like so many guys, right? So it's like, you got to put your money where your mouth is. So we had the draft. I had first pick. You had second pick. You love, like, Chase. You take Chase first. Like, who are you hoping for? Or, like, let's say you had fourth. Who are you hoping for? Like, what's your order of that top hierarchy?
Yeah, you buzz killed me, John. With I mean, it's a mock, so you're not going to lose sleep over it. But I was like, damn, and I really thought you were going to pass on Bijan, because there's just, it's kind of the norm these days. Take Justin, take Jamar, get the wide. I don't believe that, and it's not the old school. I got to stack two backs. It's the lay of the land in fantasy football right now. Like, you get out of the bell cows really early, and now you're into the abyss of timeshare backs, right? Or 2/3, 1/3 backfields, as opposed to the dominating bell cows. So I'm always trying to get, Bijan and Derrick Henry, Henry and CMC, and obviously that's unrealistic, but you get the point. I'm trying, so in our league, John, you take Bijan, and I'm like, I'm going to the draft right here, and I'm like, okay, I'm not taking Saquon. Like, no. He's just a no. I like Jahmyr Gibbs. He might have had that career year last year, but he's really good, and he's on a really good team, and so, like, I'll still mess with him, but I'm still looking at him like, bro, is that the peak? And if it is, that's an automatic fade for me. So then the rest of the guys, right? It's a bunch of wide receivers. I'm not taking them. I'm just not.
No,
but
me too.
Okay, it's Chase, right? Like, okay, am I really going to take Derrick Henry at number 2? So I didn't, right? And then Henry went at the end of round 1 to our boy Williamson. So then, John, it was the please, the whole second round all the way back to me. I'm like, don't take Bucky Irving. Don't take Bucky Irving. I couldn't
believe it.
And they didn't. And so I got him at 211. And then you made your 2 picks, and I was like, don't take Kyron. Don't take Kyron, because these, to me, are 2 bell cow guys. McVay's always been a bell cow guy. Rashad's hurt in Tampa, and I saw an arrow down on Sean Tucker. His preseason numbers haven't been great. I do like that player, but Bucky Irving's green lit for massive volume.
That was a steal. I couldn't believe
so I had to get those 2 guys, and then I was like, okay, I feel good about my team right now. I got my 2 bell cows, a little out of order, so that was kind of my thinking there.
Okay, so Chase, though, right, your year after, he kind of just had a career year, right? His numbers were insane.
Okay, it's a great point by you. So 4 years ago, he went ultra large, right? Like rookie, 13 touchdowns, like just insanity numbers, right? And then, missed some games due to injury, and when he played, the numbers were great. But the last 2, those middle 2 years, were like
hurt too.
Yeah. So I was kind of like, it's like the Jahmyr Gibbs thing, that you've got to diagnose the career year. Maybe, John, I misdiagnosed that. Maybe that was his career year. It'll never be topped. He is a generational future Hall of Fame all-time grade level player. And with future Hall of Famer all-time great players, John, like Emmitt Smith, those guys just churned out badass year after badass year after badass year, and they didn't fall prey to the career year thing, because that's how good they are. A guy like James Cook, right? Did we ever see James Cook having a season like he had last year while he was at Georgia? The answer is no. Did I ever think he'd pop, 20 touchdowns last year, John?
I think he had 18, 19, 16 rushing and like 2-3 receiving.
I never saw James Cook having close to 20 touchdowns. I don't know about you. Wow. I thought 10, 11, 12, okay, yeah, like the normal really badass stuff. 18, 19? So I gotta fade you coming off of that because I just don't think he's a good enough player to support that. Now, Saquon Barkley, John, is a generational future Hall of Fame guy, right? However, the 2,000-yard fade is undefeated. Every single 2,000, it is. It's okay. Undefeated. Every single 2,000-yard rushers come way back to earth the next year. So,
okay, so let's stay on this James Cook thing, right? So I was actually big on him last year because he had about 1,500 all-purpose yards. Josh Allen, I think, had about 14 rushing touchdowns, but previous seasons he'd average about 6, 7, 8. So I thought if his rushing goes down and Diggs and Gabe Davis were gone, it was a perfect spot for James Cook to go. He had the super blow up. Nobody could see that coming. But it's about kind of more situation more than talent, right? Buffalo, you got running QB, which opens up the lane for the running backs. You got a great O-line, and now you got a great defense. So they're up in games a lot, so they're going to be running a lot. Like, that's kind of the team I'm targeting for a running back versus just almost ignoring the talent. Same with the argument for getting R.J. Harvey in Denver. But so that's why I like James Cook, because I like Buffalo. That's why I like Ray Davis, because maybe if James Cook might not be that good, who knows what Ray Davis is going to give you.
No, I mean, the diagnosis of roster construction and game script and all that, I think is super clever. And I think it's bang on. For me, and a lot of times, like, that would be the dominant element of the conversation. But for me, what predominates with a guy like James Cook is, dude, that was your career year. You know, when Raheem Mostert had his explosion here, what was that, 2 years ago? That was the most automatic fade ever. Jamal Williams, when he popped for that high teen touchdown total, that was an obvious fade the next year. So that angle's pretty close to undefeated as well, John.
Okay, I like that. So let's just stay on this mock draft for a bit. So I loved your early picks, but I gotta come at you like I felt like the wheels came off. You haven't been reading my stuff, like the older, like you went Stephon Diggs, who's going to be toast. I think you took Devontae Adams, you took Travis Kelce, you took all these 30-plus players whose best years are behind them. They don't really have a ceiling, and just to get back to and even atop anything, it's going to take almost a miracle.
So was this a dynasty draft or a redraft?
Mock, yeah. It's just a redraft. Yeah, redraft.
So I'm not sweating age with that. And so the Devontae Adams pick, I'll be honest, was an auto pick. I think it was my only auto pick of the draft. I don't hate it though. Like, I looked around, who would I have? Where's the pick?
Right here. Okay.
Let me see here. Yeah, because Mike Evans was already gone. I mean, 4th round for Mike Evans. My goodness. So we're at the end of the 4th round here. And, DJ Moore, Devontae Smith, DK Metcalf, Jamison Williams. I'm probably taking Devontae over those guys. So I wasn't mad at that pick. I think Devontae can have a good year with Stafford out in LA. Took Mahomes. Wasn't crazy about that, but like, is Mahomes going to get back to like 40 touchdown, 4,500 yard Mahomes?
I don't think he can.
All right. I don't disagree with that. I would bet against it, but like, it's on the back of his football card. Can we get back to that? Stephon Diggs, to me, is going to have a good year. I really like Drake May. The reports are that Diggs is, going to start week 1 and be ready for week 1. The guy prints statistics every year. I'm impressed that he's hustled and gotten ready to this point. So, he's been working on his body. So John, I respect your opinion and you not liking those picks, but I'll defend those picks.
Okay. It just Diggs. I did the age clip. We did the pod and we talked about it, and I really wanted to dive in. And it's crazy. Like, Julio Jones, one of the best wide receivers all time, one of my favorites, right? 31. He was a wide receiver 2. Turned 32. Fell off a cliff. He was like the wide receiver 62. Sometimes there aren't any signs. There's no way to predict it. It's just this arbitrary number. When they hit it, it's like your 2,000 rusher. Almost nobody beats it. So even Mike Evans, I'm fading them all. I'm like Leo with my wide receivers. Who, when they hit 25, I'm dumping them.
Yeah, and I'm later in the draft, I took Cooper Kupp. Probably wasn't a popular pick with you. Even later in the draft, I took Tyler Lockett. Probably not a real popular pick with you, John.
Okay. So we can move on to the mock draft. Let's talk the dynasty draft for a bit. Because once we do the NFC, I know that's just going to take the whole pod. So we did the rookie draft. What are the big kind of movers and shakers from when we did that draft? In July? to now? Like if we did the draft again, who do you think would be the biggest guys that would be shifting?
Okay, let me actually I prepped an answer to that. Let me go here, John. All right, the guys that I like more now. I didn't necessarily frame it dynasty,
Sure,
but
fine. Yeah.
But the guys that I like more now through the process, Terry Godwin. Wow. Old school blast from the Terry Godwin came out of my mouth. Chris Godwin of the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
I'm feeling better about him. Like I'm not real high on him, but like I'll draft him now. Egbuka, with the way he's played in the preseason. I mean, I loved him at Ohio State. Loved the spot. Jalen McMillan has that, God bless him, that nasty neck injury. So I feel really good about Egbuka right now. Diggs, with the promising news we're hearing about him, likely's dinged up. So Mark Andrews, Matthew Golden of Green Bay, killing it. Loved him at Texas. He's a 40-time guy. I'm obsessed with the 40. I'm obsessed with the 40-time guys, and he's one of them. And then Tyrone Tracy, who I already mentioned. So those are that's the cluster of guys that I'm liking more now than versus early in the process.
Okay, so Ibuka was so interesting because I mean he's kind of the fantasy darling. Everyone's talking about Ibuka, but if you're like me, I'm the only one fading Mike Evans. I think Chris Godwin, he's on the pop. He's not playing. If Ibuka's a wide receiver one on an offense that threw for 41 touchdowns, like is he a top 20 wide receiver, top 15? Like he's going to be in the slot. He's going to be getting tons of usage. He's a huge body. He's got great hands. I think I got him in the 7th. I feel like he's almost like a 4th, 5th round pick.
I mean, we view it differently because I'm really high on Egbuka, but Mike Evans is one of these. I think he just defies your rule. I think he defies my rule. My rule would be a career year. Like we could look at Mike Evans' history, right, and pinpoint that career year or that oh my God year. Well, guess what? He kept doing it and doing it and doing it. What is it? 10 straight years of 1,000 yards, Mike?
11, I think.
11. My God. I mean, stop it. So. Like I said, and you've got to be uber all-time great elite to defy these patterns and trends, John, that we have crafted over the years with our fantasy expertise. But for me, Mike Evans is one of those guys. Now, Diggs, I'm not willing to die on that hill. All right. But with Mike Evans, I'm willing to die on that hill.
Okay, you heard it here first. Mike Evans will not have 1,000 yards receiving this season.
Yep, and I disagree with that, but I hear you, bro. I hear you.
Okay, let's go. So we did a big breakdown of the AFC last time. We just cracked the NFC. We're gonna go to the NFC North. I got all sorts of fun, random stats to get you. Although you figured out the game about 25% of the way through. The player is usually on the team we're talking about. So, but NFC North was maybe the best division in football. A lot of big changes. So let's start with Minnesota, right? Darnold out. JJ McCarthy in. I think you love JJ McCarthy, right?
No, sir. I can't.
Sorry.
I was gonna say I can't stand him. I don't want to say it like that. Like he may be a great young man, right? I don't know him at all. John, I'm gonna say it like this. JJ, and huge college football guy, huge college football fantasy guy. So that means I'm a draft analyst as well, with all the knowledge I have of the college guys, and I do mock drafts and that kind of thing. He's one of the most overrated quarterback prospects of our generation.
Holy crap. Wow.
John, bro, I'm telling you right now. Did they have a great defense at Michigan when they won the Natty? They had a great defense. Did they have a great running game when they did they have a great offensive line?
If you say so.
Yeah. So my point is imagine Trent Dilfer winning the Super Bowl. Imagine Brad Johnson winning the Super Bowl. Okay. That's what that was. He was a game manager. He would make the occasional play, always got way too much credit for his footwork. And he's not a dual threat, but people talked about him like he's a dual threat. Oh, he's so sweet with his feet. He's occasionally sweet with his feet. So Justin Jefferson's not a full fade, but I'm not also super high on Justin Jefferson. Like, I'm not going to reach above ADP for JJ because of JJ.
Yeah, we've seen he's QB proof, but he's going to raise the QB. He's going to get his 1,500 yards, but the QB is going to get probably the 3,500. The QB gets the bump, not Justin Jefferson. Okay, so Jordan Addison suspended 3 games. He finished the season really well. Are you an Addison guy?
Yes, but again, the enthusiasm's bridled by the quarterback. If let John, and you're more like, you may know some, and I actually reached out to Paul Allen, voice of the Vikings, to try to get some intel. Like, dude, are the Vikings going to reach out to Kirk Cousins? I mean, why not? Like, he's just dying on the vine in Atlanta. I think Kirk Cousins would completely change. And I mean, look, he's a playoff choke artist, and they wouldn't win a championship with him. But I'd be looking at the Viking offense so much differently with Kirk Cousins under center than J.J. McCarthy. So are you hearing anything about Kirk Cousins being traded there?
No, because I think his Penix injury history, I think they probably want to keep him in Atlanta. That's my guess, but I think the Vikings had Sam Howell, right? Who I think you traded for him in the Dynasty League. I love Sam Howell, but then they just traded him again.
Yeah, then they traded him to Philly, so now I've dropped Howell. Because I thought and how reportedly, and I checked with some people I know in Minnesota, he was not good in training camp.
Oh, okay.
He did not have a good camp. He didn't perform well in the games. And so I was the Sam Howell guy going back to North Carolina, had those moments with Washington. I was like, I like this kid, and I think he can steal the job from JJ. But you know what, John? We get hunches, right? We get vibes. And a lot of them don't pay off, okay? And that was one of them.
Okay, I love Sam. When I saw that trade, I was like, oh, Rick knows what's going on. Okay, first quiz question of it here. So last season, there were 31 running backs that had at least 150 carries. Only 2 of them had at least 15% of their carries go 10 plus yards. One is Jahmyr Gibbs. Who's the other one?
Oh boy. I'm going to say Jahmyr Gibbs.
No, Jahmyr Gibbs is the first one.
Oh, my bad.
Think of the game. What team are we on?
Wait a minute. Wait, was it Jordan Mason?
Jordan Mason.
All right. So thank you for the hint and the clue right there. But I appreciate that. Wow. Really?
Yeah. All right. So I got Jordan Mason in the mock. He's one of my must-have picks. Aaron Jones is old. He played 17 games last year, right? And if we're talking about teams like Buffalo, right? Minnesota, great O-line, great offense, right? They got to play the safeties back for Jefferson. They're going to be up in games. So I just think Jordan Mason is an absolute must-have stud this season, even though he's not a great receiving back.
No, I'm buying that. I'm smelling what you're cooking, especially the Aaron Jones played 17 games part, because that in a weird way is kind of career high-ish, right? For Aaron Jones, who always misses a game or two, doesn't usually fully implode, but there's always some little stuff going on with him. But I think that's a great call. I think Jordan Mason's a really good call. I'm with that.
Okay, so we're just mentioned Gibbs. Let's go Detroit. Absolute offensive superpower monster team. But their O-line gets a bit of a downgrade. The defense looks like it's gotten a little bit better. Where are you at on Detroit? I mean, Gibbs, Monty, St. Brown.
I mean, they look like a Super Bowl winning team to me. You're going to have Aiden Hutchinson back. I mean, think about the ascent they made last year. Aiden Hutchinson was not invited to that party. Now they're going to have one of the elite pass rushers in the NFL back on the field for them. So they're my pick to win the Super Bowl, John. I'm all in on the Detroit Lions, man.
Okay, that's great. So one of my big themes is targeting teams and opportunities. So like Buffalo, Philly, Baltimore. I don't really want the passing part of those offenses. I want the rushing. So if the defense takes that step up, is maybe St. Brown going to have a down year? Jameson they're not going to be passing as much, maybe not as explosive. So Gibbs and Monty, do we want to back the rushing attack because their team's going to just be blowing teams out?
No, I just think it all looks great. I'm bullish on Laporta. When Jameis Williams was in college, I called him the Tyreek Hill of college football. I mean, this guy, he's one of the fastest players I've ever seen. I love Jameson Williams, and he's finally gotten locked in because there was some weirdness early in his career. But you got Laporta, you got him, I don't even care who their third guy is. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown. They throw to their backs. They've got two unbelievable. They have the best backfield in the league in Gibbs and Montgomery. If you protect Jared Goff, he slices and dices. He and Tua are the same guy. If you protect them, they slice and dice. If you don't, they take 7 sacks and you lose, 20-3. But they have a great offensive line. So I think they're winning the Super Bowl, John. They've been knocking on the door. They've been going up the ladder each year, and I think they break through this year.
Okay, so Isaac Tesla, I think, is it Isaac or does that he's the third wide receiver who had a great preseason, right? But it's just an offense can only feed so many mouths, right? We know Gibbs is going to eat. We know Monty's going to eat. We know St. Brown's going to eat. The year before, 2 years ago, it was Laporta the fourth, but Jameson Williams kind of took that spot. So why do you like Laporta this year if nothing else on the offense changed?
I mean, because Goff loves tight ends in the red zone, and
Okay.
and you've got I mean, he's going to catch 80, 90 balls, like because Jameson Williams isn't a volume guy, right? He's the guy. You've got your bread and butter in Amon-Ra, you've got Laporta, and then Goff's back there. Oh shoot, on a deep crosser, he's got he's the guy's 2-man steps behind him, right? Okay, let me loft one up for a long touchdown, but he's not a bread and butter guy. Amon-Ra and Laporta will be the bread and butter guys. I love Sam Laporta. I think he's going to have a bounce back year.
Okay, nice. So I was thinking about this earlier. It's just I like to target the teams kind of up and coming. I was comparing it to fantasy basketball, where it's like you don't really want that 1 seed. You don't really want OKC in a head-to-head, right? Because in the fantasy playoffs, they're going to sit. So if Detroit's like, again, 14-2 or something, fantasy playoffs, maybe they're going to rest guys, right? So it's like I feel like Detroit's peaked. They're at the peak, and it's just not a team I want to invest in, whereas I want somebody up and coming. So maybe the Chicago Bears, who got some of that, Detroit IP, right? Especially if we're last year. So here we go. Let me find it. Good. Caleb Williams, right? 50 of Caleb Williams, 254 points. 55% came with the Bears trailing by at least a touchdown, right? So 35% of his points were considered garbage time. So now, that's the kind of team I want to invest in, a team that was down or an up-and-coming offense. But now with the O-line better, with Ben Johnson, where are we at with Chicago? Because all the signs point to a potential monster season. I
mean, I'm with it. As a sleeper team, I'm a Caleb Williams guy. I know a lot of people bang on him for a variety of reasons. I don't get into any of that. I just love the talent. And can we be even a fraction patient with young quarterbacks? I mean, people act like he's got to have every single riddle solved, entering year 2. The guy threw for 3,800 yards and 23 touchdowns as a rookie. John, there once upon a time, if you go back to the 70s and 80s, and I know different era in there throwing more now, but like that number back in the day would have been a gargantuan rookie year. And now it's just, or whatever his numbers were. I might be off a little bit, but he had a pretty good statistical year as a rookie. I'm into it. I don't like their backfield. I'm not a Swift guy. But who cares? They'll make it work. But I love their wide receivers. You've got the 2-pack of Kmet and Loveland at tight end. I think Caleb Williams is a really, really good second quarterback in a 2 QB league. Or if you've really been diligent with your business and you've got 2 rock stars, then get him as your 3rd QB. But I'm high on Caleb Williams and I'm high on Chicago. I'm with you, man.
Because for me, it's just look for the situation upgrade, right? That Saquon one seemed like such an obvious one. Giants to Philly monster. So it's Caleb. So he's getting the offensive line upgrade. He's getting the huge coaching upgrade, right? We got some more weapons. They got Luther Burden. They got Colson Loveland. Like, why can't Caleb Williams have an absolute monster season? And if we do like that, who do we like? Because I'm Rome Odunze. I'm on the corner. I don't let anyone else on there. I'll shoot you.
I mean, yeah, I'm a Rome guy, and I'm a DJ Moore guy. I'm not really into the tight ends, John. Like from a team standpoint, like you're really good at tight end if you've got Loveland and Kmet. But fantasy wise, they're in each other's way. I think in a big way there. Will one of them separate? I mean, Cole Kmet's paid, bro. Money finds the field. I mean, I don't think they're just going to bench him. They're probably going to split that up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I'm a DJ Moore guy. The back of his football card looks pretty damn good, John.
Yeah, there's some great DJ Moore stat. He's really good at catching these uncatchable balls. And last year was kind of a year from hell from him. Him and Caleb just weren't on the same page. So it's just the upgrade from just the institutional support system there is going to be borderline, maybe not unprecedented, but amongst the biggest jumps in the league, right?
John, think about this. Poor Justin Fields had to work with Matt Nagy, and now Caleb Williams is working with Ben Johnson. Okay, that just kind of tells the whole story right there, huh? Matt Nagy just went and picked up Andy Reid's Subway from around the corner and brought it back to the Chiefs facility.
And it was the wrong order.
That was the wrong order. He got the chicken, not the turkey, and Andy Reid's all pissed off now.
Okay, so let's go. So the Packers. Packers are tough because, like a lot of these teams, that wide receiver room is crazy deep. They just said Christian Watson's going to be on the PUP or the IR. He's out for the first 4 games. You love Matthew Golden. Jaden Reed was the wide receiver 1, week 1 of the season, right, in that Brazil game. What do we do? What are we doing here? Josh Jacobs just had a career year, but maybe not his best because he led the rushing, I think, 3 years ago. But he had a monster year. What are we doing with the Green Bay? Because it's a lot of talent, but it's kind of messy.
I'm a Jaden Reed guy. I'm kind of waiting on the Jaden Reed pop. You know, where he goes from like the 7-8 touchdowns to 10, where he goes from like the 800-900 yards to like 1050, 1100, and he like spikes with the receps, right? We haven't seen that yet, but we've seen glimpses. He's been a really good touchdown scorer. He's a 40-time guy. Okay, so he's Cam vetted. But he's a good sleeper for me. He's got this pesky foot injury, John, that keeps kind of dogging him a little bit, and it has given me pause in some drafts. But I mess with Jaden Reed. Matthew Golden's probably being taken a little higher than is comfortable for me for a rookie wide receiver. But I'm grabbing shares of his. You know, I like that Love's thumb injury is on the non-throwing hand. Yeah. And so Jacobs, he's one of those guys, John, that like when he zigs, I zag. When I zag, he zigs. Like we're just not on the same page at all. And so I'm not really like we talked about. I would much rather have Bucky Irving or a Kyron Williams in that same kind of zone where people are taking Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, Bucky for sure. But yeah, Jacobs, he was my huge fade last year, and I read it totally wrong. But Green Bay, a couple things. So like Jordan Love is like, he's the real deal, right? I love just eye tests. He throws that frozen rope, like that 15-yard little in or out, and he hits the receiver, like, you know, right here. I'm just a big believer in Love. He got hurt week 1. He got hurt again in the middle of the season. So now they've got all the weapons. Their coach is one of the best coaches in the league. But you like Jaden Reed, they really like to do that 2 wide receiver set, right? And that's going to be Matthew Golden and Romeo Doubs. So with Reed, I just worry about him getting enough snap share. Because he had that 4-game stretch in the season where he had, I think, under 25 yards in like 4 or 5 straight games.
He disappears from time to time, right? And it's kind of mysterious. You bring up snap count is hugely important. I mean, I want guys, when you go to, you know, Football Reference and you're looking at snap counts, I want to see 1-0-0, right? Like with my linebackers, right? I don't want my 71% linebacker. I want 100% linebacker. You never come off the field. I agree with everything you said about Jordan Love. Let's give this kid some credit, man. He got all messed up. I want to say, John, it was a Thursday night game against Philly. Help me out. Too many games, too many parties. But he messed up his ankle or knee or something. I was like, oh no, Love's good. He missed like 1 week.
He barely missed time, but he was playing hurt, and you know, just
so I give him credit for that. Like, to me, Kyler Murray won't do that, John. He won't. Kyler Murray's a wuss. He's talented, but he's a wuss. He won't play hurt. Lamar Jackson, to a degree, doesn't really want to play hurt. To me, you don't have a choice. You do not have a choice in the NFL. You have to play hurt as an NFL quarterback. Rodgers did it. Stafford's played with broken bones. Romo played with a broken back. You got to play, man.
Yeah, I agree with you mostly, but I'm an athlete and I've played hurt, and then you're not up to your potential, and you pushes your healing time. So sometimes you could take that week off and get to 100%, and you're better in the long run for the team. But I agree, athlete's mentality: play hurt, team needs you, you're the QB, right?
And the downgrade from Jordan Love to Malik Willis is quite steep.
Yeah, they still won games. Okay, so that's the NFC North. So this is my low-key secret favorite division, the NFC South. So quickly, anybody watching on Twitter, come over to YouTube, like us, subscribe us, follow Rick on Twitter. He's the fantasy Wizard of Oz. But actually,
I'll take that. Thank you, John.
And in the sky. But right, to get our draft guide, right, we're going to be doing weekly stuff, rankings, waiver wire, injury report. We're doing it all. So make sure you check that out. So first, the NFC South, I'm just almost focusing my drafts on this division. I don't think there's a good defense there. I think it's underrated. It's undervalued. Let's start the Atlanta Falcons, maybe my favorite team to invest in fantasy in this entire season.
Yeah, I can't rock with you there, John, because Pitts to me looks like, dude, kind of busty. And my dude at Florida, I literally can't believe what's happening to Kyle Pitts in the NFL. I literally can't. So Travis Henry, pardon me, Travis Etienne, same thing. Literally cannot believe that he's where he is right now in the NFL. I can't believe Trevor Lawrence is where he is right now in the NFL. These guys were just unbelievable, can't miss in college, and they've all missed. And so Pitts is a no, just because he's never popped. I'm a big Penix guy. You've got the Darnell Mooney injury, which is a buzzkill. And then what's next? Ray McLeod? I'm not into Ray McLeod. I'll mess with Drake London, but the defensive attention on him is going to be crazy. And I mean, Bijan's my guy. Bijan's the number one pick in fantasy football for me. So it's kind of hit and miss there, John. I am a Penix guy. I am a Bijan guy. I'm taking running backs though when people are taking Drake London. So I'm not going to really have a whole lot of Drake London. So yeah, that I hear you there, but Drake London, I got two wide receivers I make exceptions for. Drake London, Nico Collins. Okay, quick stat. From week 6 on, guess how many running backs average more than 22.8 points per game? Fantasy points. From week 6 on? Yeah. 1. Who do you think it is? Saquon. No, it's Bijan. Oh, crap. I overthought it, man. Because we're on the Falcons. Of course, the answer is Bijan. My bad. Okay, here's an easy one then. In 3 starts last season, no QB had a higher average depth of target than this QB. Michael Penix. Right? So it's just like all he does is throw these bombs. Drake London's a huge bomb receiver. I'm not leaving drafts without Drake London. It's just that's where Look, man, I hear you. I'm looking, like I said, I'm looking to get a couple of backs at that point. Like if Drake London late first, early second would feel better to me. Mid first, I'm still looking for a back. Yeah, that's for sure. But it's just in terms of that tier, because it's just like I think Atlanta up and coming offense, defense isn't very good, division sucks, schedule's nice. Penix is going to be throwing these bombs. I just love. I mean, if there's in auctions, I might go the Bijan Drake and just spend $100. I'm just super excited about Atlanta. So do you like anyone else in there? Like Ray McLeod made some noise last year. No, okay. I can't get with it. He's got to grab me by the shirt collar off waivers. And so Penix, you say you're a big college guy. Where do you see his season finishing? Is he 4,000? Is he 4,500 yards? Is he close to 30 touchdowns? I mean, I don't really like his weaponry. So, I mean, I think if he's getting to 4,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, I look at that as a really good year. I mean, if he had some of these other wide receiver rooms, like I could go higher, and it's also his first full year, right? There's going to be mistakes. He's going to throw picks. He's going to take sacks. He's going to hold on to the ball too long. He's going to do all that stuff. But like I'll give him 4,000 yards and 25 touchdowns. It's the best I got. And actually, I think I'm being pretty generous with that. But what if half of that goes to London, right? In his 3 starts, Drake London was targeted 8 times, 13 times, and 18 times. Nice. Like it's just, I'm so stoked. I can't wait I'm watching every Atlanta game. I'm going to get the stack. John, the cool thing too is, You can throw into double teams with Drake London because he's so big and athletic. Like there are some guys you can't throw into double teams against because they're not imposing enough body wise, right? But he is. So yeah, I'm with you, dude. You've sold me on it. And the turf, right? We're playing Carolina twice. Worst defense. Oh yeah, there's going to be shootouts at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, dude, for sure. Okay, so then we talked about Tampa a bit. We can move pretty quickly because we both love Bucky. We both love Ibuka. It just seems, are they maybe a team from hell though? Because right, they lost Liam Cohen. Is Baker going to be fine on his own? Has he figured it out? But with Jalen McMillan out, Godwin out, maybe Evans is washed. I mean, what are we doing? Maybe K-Dot? Yeah, I just think you and I differ so much on the Mike Evans thing, and that's kind of the foundation of right. So I mean, I'm like you're in Germany and I'm in Australia on Mike Evans. So I'm bullish. I mean, John Gruden thinks they're winning the Super Bowl this year. I can't rock with that. To me, that's a bit wild. But John does reside in Tampa, former Buccaneers coach.
Yeah.
Probably a little fanboy with that. But I think Baker's good to go because, look, man, I understand Liam Cohen and QB Whisperer and all that, but Baker Mayfield has been a stud at a variety of levels with a variety of different coaches. Okay, I just think the Cleveland thing was a disaster for a variety of reasons. Then he bounced around a little bit because the NFL is full of a bunch of haters. They are. The people that make decisions in the NFL are haters. And so Baker had to take the long road back. But yeah, the talent's always been there. And you know what, man, as long as he's got Mike Evans, I'm bullish on Baker.
Okay. But two things. Baker with Cleveland wasn't that bad. Like, they were KC during that peak Mahomes KC era.
Yeah,
And
that year was fine. I'm talking about like the subsequent years when the wheels fell off, right? But yeah, no, they were toe-to-toe with KC. What they win 10, 11 games. His stats were good. Yeah, I'm a Baker guy, man. I am.
Oh, so not to get you back. So what about Baker? If that was his best year, are we not worried about that, right? He threw for 40-plus touchdowns. I don't know if he'd come even close to that. Or did Baker figure it out? Tristan Wirfs is out. That's a bit of a problem. He lost his head coach. There's a lot of signs where maybe we get a Tampa regression.
I'm not disagreeing with any of that at all. Let me go to Baker here. Let me put the.
I love Baker too. I bet his rushing yards every single week in a big game, and he never made me sweat.
I'm looking here. I mean, this is by far a career year.
But he also did it. Mike Evans was out. Godwin missed time, so it's not like he was relying on studs. He was making his own magic.
This is. John, this is a really, really tough case study for the career year theory. No, it is. It's fascinating because he had 4,000 yards, 28 TDs the year before in Tampa, so a really good year, and then backed it up with a better year. Okay, I'm going to phrase it like this, John. There are career year fades that are like full fades. I want nothing to do with you, like Saquon Barkley. And then there are career year theory soft fades, where at the right spot, I'll still mess with you, but I'm going to try to target other guys. Baker falls into that latter category because this is well diagnosed by you. I don't know if Baker ever again is going to throw for 4,500 yards and 41 touchdowns. That's a massive, massive freaking season. So I think it's a great, great point by you. I am going to say career year theory for Baker, but it's a soft fade, not a full fade.
Okay. Because, I still love Ibuka. I'm going to grab him everywhere. Okay, so Carolina. Carolina is one of my every day, every week I read more and I fall more and more in love with this stupid Carolina team. Here's
I think you need football because Carolina, when they lose week 1, 30-10, you're gonna be like, damn, it was all for naught. You need football to get here, John.
All right. Last year from week 12 on, only 2 quarterbacks had more fantasy rushing points. Name one of them.
Bryce Young.
Right? Can you believe, so like people talk about rushing QBs? Bryce Young is a rushing QB. We want to set up. They got a terrible defense. They got a good O-line. They just invested with Tet in a first-round pick. Like Bryce Young, if he's not terrible, why is he like the QB 23? Like he's going to get all these garbage time points. I love Bryce Young. I love Tet. I love Chuba Hubbard. I'm all in on this stupid Carolina team because they can't stop anyone from getting 30 points.
Well, Chuba's on the career year. He's on the career year list, and he's a hard fade.
Good. Oh, hard fade. Okay, yeah.
He's a hard fade because, like, he's Chuba Hubbard, right? Like, he's just a good player. He's not a great. I mean, yeah. So he's a full fade, and And John, I don't want to sound like I'm telling you something you don't know because you know this. You're all about game script, and you think about the game deeper than I do.
Thank you.
But when you can't get stops, a lot of times that ruins the running game in the second half of games. When you're down 30-9, late third quarter, they stop running the ball, or they just bring a backup in because you're getting drilled by so many points. Now it does lead to garbage time goodies from your QB, who they leave in the game, and all the wide receivers and stuff like that. I cannot get behind Carolina in any way, shape, or form in reality, John. Okay. Like, I don't think they're going to start winning games all of a sudden. Like I'm feeling Ted a little bit. I am Bryce Young. I'm taking other sleeper quarterbacks when it's Bryce Young time. I'd rather have Penix. I'd rather have Caleb. And so yeah, that's just I'm going with other guys at that zone where I'm looking for my third QB or my second QB to back up my one QB. And it's usually not him.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. But so a couple minutes ago, you talked about gold. You thought Golden's ADP was a little too high for a rookie wide receiver. I'd argue the rookie wide receivers that's where all the gold is, right? Last year, right? Ladd, Brian Thomas Jr., all these guys went late, and actually exploded. So, and people say it's kind of a down year for wide receivers, compared to last year, which is maybe the greatest ever. But this Tet and Golden, I feel like you almost have to get them because the potential ceiling is unlimited, and then they're in such great positions. That's why I took Tet second over in the dynasty. I just think because nobody knows, and he's a great college player. I'm sure you love Tet.
Phenomenal college player. And he's huge, and his measurables are good. Yeah, I'm a fan. I mean, look, I'm stuck probably in some old school thinking on this. Rookie backs, man, they fire a lot. It is not rare for a rookie back to come in and dominate 1,200 yards, 12, 13 touchdowns. They were a rock star in college. They're put up to bat in the pros, and they kill it, right? We see it frequently. Back in the day, John, rookie wide receivers almost always sucked. They just did. It was like
Julio Jones.
Yeah, they like the technology, the terminology and separation and getting on the same page with the QB. Like it was just super vexing for guys, like really talented receivers back in the day. So I'm probably guilty of hanging on to that, John, because you're right. Recently, there's been a trend. And it's all situation based, right? It's all how much are you put up to bat? Because the Atlanta Falcons, Sean, as you know, did not put Drake London up to bat immediately. Like it took a year or two for him to kind of work into that. So yeah, Tet's an intriguing player, man. He really is.
It's just because I'm just doing this all day, fantasy football, and everybody's going this way with all these players, and I just try and find, okay, where are people not looking? Because that's where the value is, right? Nobody wants to draft Bryce Young. Nobody wants to draft Carolina Panthers. So if you get a little round two value, chisel them out, I might get Bryce in every league because I'm going to get him so late. And if he's a top 10 QB for me, right, that's a massive, massive win. So that's my Carolina spiel.
They're like he plays for Carolina. They suck. A lot of times it's that simple.
And also half of this might just be because I've got Bryce and Ted in your dynasty league.
Well, I'm geeked that you're geeked about my dynasty league and fired up about your team and you got the Bryce Young, Ted McMillan stack, dude. Let's go.
I'm all in. Okay, so next we got who am I forgetting? Oh, the Saints. I guess we could talk about them briefly. But,
oh God, I mean, sorry, John. I just jumped your intro there.
Oh, I didn't even have anything. I was just gonna.
Yeah, it's a dumpster fire. What can I say? Like in dynasty leagues, I'm messing around with Tyler Shuck, but it looks like Rattler's going to get the job. He will face plant. 2, 3, 4 weeks in, he'll lose the job. Shuck will get his shot. The team's going to absolutely suck this year. Kamara may be traded. Olave's got the concussion thing, which and a huge quarterback problem. So I'm not into Olave. Nah, the whole thing's a fade for me, dude. The whole thing.
Yeah, me too. We don't even really need to talk about. So this guy's got a quick question here, but it looks a little convoluted. Timon Thomas, do you trade DJ Moore, Travis Hunter, Godwin, and Nick Chubb for Kittle, Rashee Rice, Bateman, and Corum? I can never handle these questions. There's just too many moving parts. But
Blake Corum, I don't really. So Kittle. It's hard because he says I have Amon-Ra.
Terry McLaurin.
Does he have a tight end? Goddard. So I guess he needs a tight end. So and the other thing is like, who are you getting? Right? He says trade, and I'm not really sure which side. And is it a dynasty league? Because if it's not a dynasty,
no, it'll just be redraft.
I'm not high on Travis Hunter in redraft. The reports on Chubb is that he's washed. Godwin's going to start the year on the pup or whatever, or practicing, but probably not playing for the first month. Not high. I'd rather have the Kittle, Rice, Bateman, Corum side of that.
Yeah, right. Pretty much just doing it just to get Rashee Rice, but then it's still, they said 6-game suspension. Okay, so we can go about an hour. We got about 10 minutes.
You call it, man. We can go a little longer if you want. It's all good, man.
He says he's getting Kittle. 10 team half PPR. All you want is the best player in the trade. So yeah, Kittle. The touchdown upgrade alone.
And he had Kyron, so he'd be putting Corum behind Kyron, which I like. So that you have our blessing. So
let's talk running backs, because it seems like that's really what fantasy is about. But there's so many backup running backs that have potential, and so many rookie running backs. Like, how do we sort through the madness? Like, who are you looking to target? Like, is it Ollie? Who's the Miami guy? Is it Ollie Gordon?
Yeah, Ollie Gordon. I mean, Jalen Wright, is that going to work out? It just seems like every news report I get on Jalen Wright is negative. Every time I look at his name on any of my teams, he's got a red injury flag by it, right? Like, where are we going with all that? I like Ollie Gordon. I saw Ollie Gordon play. Who's he playing? Jacksonville last weekend. He looked good, running guys over. Looks like he's very fit. The guy was an absolute rock star in college. Now, Ollie Gordon's not a 40-time guy, okay? That's why he slipped in the draft. But I'm looking at him very, very deep. I'll give you – I would rather have Taj Brooks like way late, because Samaje Perine, come on, man. Samaje Perine is how do I want to say this? Like, he's in the way. Like, I mean, Taj Brooks brings way more to the party than Samaje Perine, who – dude, he's got friends in high places. How is Samaje Perine still on a job in the NFL? I don't even understand that.
You can catch balls. But so let's say, like, it's a redraft, 14 team. You want to leave with 3 rookie running backs. Who are they? Obviously, Gentry doesn't count. Like, I'm putting ADP into factor, right?
I mean, I'm into Jadon Blue.
Yeah.
I'm into I don't have a list in front of me, John, so I'm kind of off the top of my head here. Rookie running backs. I'm kind of blanking, dude.
RJ Harvey, Travion Henderson.
Yes. Yeah, big yes. Harvey, look, I'm a J.K. Dobbins guy. I know he's hurt and all that, but when J.K. Dobbins is healthy, he's an absolute rock star. He's a 40-time guy. He was a stud at Ohio State. He's had huge moments in the NFL. So I don't know if Harvey's going to get the run that a lot of people think. And then you mentioned the other running back that I like, Travion Henderson. I freaking love. Okay. I'm not a Ramondre Stevenson guy, so he's a guy. He's definitely a guy that I'm targeting.
It's just because we only got so many spots in the draft. We like all these guys, like the late guy, Ja'Cory, Croskett, Merritt.
Hampton. Because I don't Najee Harris, God bless him, blowing his face apart or whatever with the eye thing. Like, how do you heal from that, bro? Can he see out of his eye? Have we gotten a report on that?
No, I don't think so. They're keeping it mum, which is scary.
All right, yeah. So I'm that whole eye thing is I thought that may be a split with Najee and Omarion, but now I think Hampton's good to go for a spectacular rookie year. Obviously, it's a Harbaugh system where the running game rules. So I'm really big on him.
Yeah, but that's the easy one, right? I'm talking like, who are the guys? You have 10 drafts. Who are the rookie running backs you were leaving with in 7 of them? You're taking that 12th round. Jadon Blue, like that'd probably be the guy.
Right, so yeah, well, there's more.
There's just so many of them, and it just seems like it's just hard to process. Which ones to properly value.
All right, so let me go to a list of rookie running backs here, and like you said, get kind of off the beaten path a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, Jadon Blue, Dylan Sampson. He's a 40-time guy, and nice. Not a Jerome Ford guy. You've got they haven't even signed Quinshon Judkins. Like, what the hell's going on with that weirdness? And so Dylan Sampson had a monster year at Tennessee. I'm talking about a monster year. A bell cow he had 20-some touchdowns. Like I'm telling you, look at Dylan Sampson, DJ Giddens. He's a 40-time guy. He flirted with workhorse in college. I want to say last year he was the workhorse at K-State. He was at Alabama. Like, if Alabama's messing with you, I already like you, right? They only deal with the elite of the elite.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Just like as your foundation, okay, then that you couldn't break through there, so you went over here. But I like DJ Giddens. He'll be and Jonathan Taylor is a wussy, and he's very, very injury prone. He is. He's soft as tissue paper, man.
Yeah.
So I think Giddens actually is going to come through the back door and be very fantasy relevant. Mentioned Taj Brooks.
Woody Marks?
Ollie Gordon to a degree. Yes, on Woody Marks because of the negative reports on Chubb. Like, it seems like Chubb is washed. And Woody Marks, Dude, Woody Marks is
dude
awesome out of the back. Awesome out of the backfield. That's like his forte. Like he's a third down back. Woody Marks isn't going to be. He will not be a bell cow in the NFL. I would bet every possession that I have on earth. Like maybe at the end of the season for a depleted running back room. But John, you know what I'm saying? Like he will never be set up as a bell cow in the NFL. He will be set up as a third down back in the NFL. And I, you know, a Darren Sproles type of guy.
Nice.
But yeah, he's kind of on the fringe. I'm looking here. Is there anybody else? I'm super deep now. And that is it, John. That is it.
Okay. So what are you looking for with these rookie running backs? Because you watched them in college, so you have more insight than anyone else. But I know 40 times. Yeah,
I'm looking. Well, 40 time to vet the player originally, right? And then once I vetted you, it's about talent meets opportunity. And like Giddens, like there's a path. I mean, Taylor's got to blow a tire, but Taylor blows a tire a lot. You know, Taj Brooks, I think, has a path with only Samaje Perine in front of him. So I'm looking for talent and then the path to getting on the football field. Is Sampson. I think there's a path to see him on the football field. So that's what I'm looking for.
Oh, so not as much situation. Like that was why I liked RJ Harvey so much. I didn't watch him in college, but you're walking into a coach that loves running backs, great O-line, great defense, great team. Right. That's why I loved RJ Harvey.
Well, okay. So I thought, like, I totally agree with what you're saying, but I'm talking about like the deeper guys, right? Like RJ Harvey, you know what I mean? I think
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that's our difference there. I do like RJ Harvey's spot. But I don't, like I said, I think I could see that being, if Dobbins is really healthy and rolling, I could see that being like a 2/3, 1/3 split. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where Dobbins is pretty clearly the lead back and Harvey's doing some stuff, but just enough to kind of keep a roster spot.
Okay. So then sticking on running backs. So again, backup running backs. I always say backup running backs are like Bitcoin to fantasy. When they hit, it hits huge, right? But there's so many that are potentially could steal the job, right? The goal is to get the Chase Brown, Bucky Irving from last year, right? So obviously I like Jordan Mason. One of my other favorites, Zach Charbonnet, right? What do you do with the team when they've got these two really good running backs, almost like the Gibbs-Monty situation? Do you take both? Do you take the understudy? What's your strategy? And which ones are you looking at?
That's a great question. I don't know. When you get into the absolute timeshare guys, I'm not really trying to get both of them. I'm trying to just kind of hit a homer with one of them. When you're talking about a handcuff situation, you know, that's different. But let me look through my okay, Caleb Johnson and Jalen Warren is an example, right?
Perfect.
Like to me, that's the timeshare of all timeshares. The Rook's gonna play. Warren's been there. Warren's got some talent and zip, good catcher, good pass catcher. So Caleb's probably getting the tough yards. Jalen's kind of the in space guy a little bit. So like that looks about as 50-50 as it gets. So I would want one of those guys. Let me look around here a little bit. But I'm trying to find. Go ahead.
The argument for getting both, right? So if you just played whoever the starting running back was from the Seahawks last year, that spot would have averaged 18 points per game, which is the RB6, right? You're not playing both, but you spend a little Walker, you get the backup, and then at least you're going to get solid running back production no matter what, especially if that running back is injury prone like Walker, right?
I like where your head is at. Here's my thing I do like Zach Charbonnet and I like Kenneth Walker. That would be a 2-pack that I would be proud to have. I'm not a Caleb Johnson guy.
Yeah.
He's not a 40-time guy, man. He's not. He's a plow kind of. So I don't know, like he's probably a mutter, probably be a good cold weather back and all that kind of stuff. You know, he played at Iowa, but he's not a 40-time guy, dude. So that's always kind of a hang up for me. So in that case, I'm going to go to Jalen Warren if I've got my choice of those two guys. But to your point, and I'm trying to find another backfield where there's like maybe two, like Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason looks pretty freaking timeshares. There was a report that it's going to be more even this year. I would rather have Jordan Mason, frankly, out of that. Because you got to draft up a little bit for Aaron Jones, bigger name, starter, blah, blah, blah. I'd rather wait later and go through the back door with Mason. I like adding Corum to Kyron, John, because Sean McVay is obsessed with bell cow backs. Like he just gets a guy, just feeds him. Are you full? No, I'm not full, coach. Cool. Keep feeding him. He always does that. So if Kyron blows the tire, Corum's going to be put up to bat in a pretty significant way. I don't know, man. And then we kind of, like Trey Benson, like we talked about, I'm pretty high on him. But again, like I don't really want James Conner. I want somebody else to take him. And then I want to go through the back door with Trey Benson.
So 2 questions. One, would you rather, with those late round picks, target a backup running back, like maybe Ray Davis, Braylon Allen, Trey Benson?
Yes.
Or take a shot on one of these rookie running backs, like, Woody Marks, Jadon Blue, or Ollie Gordon?
Great question. I would rather have the previous 3 guys you mentioned. Can you give me that list one more time?
I think I said Ray Davis, Braylon Allen, Trey Benson.
Yeah. Okay. So Braylon Allen. I'm big on Braylon Allen.
I knew it.
John, I am. So that's a huge one-sided answer for me. Braylon Allen, okay, when he was at Wisconsin, the narrative about Braylon Allen, the buzz about Braylon Allen was, you got to see this freak of nature man-child. Okay, like he's at Wisconsin, right? Playing behind that unbelievable offensive line, all these 6'4s and 6'5s just opening up doors. And he's a monster. Now, he wasn't a 40-time guy. However, John, that's mitigated when you are a huge body guy, right? Like if you're 5'10", 205 and you didn't run a good 40, you're dead to me. But when you're a big body guy like Braylon Allen, then I want to see you, right? And then like you look slow, right? But he doesn't play slow. So I'm a fan. I actually have like super deep John in dynasty leagues, last pick or off waivers with a guy moved to IR, whatever. I'm even messing around with Isaiah Davis a little bit because he's a big athletic stud. But I think Breece Hall is heading for a season of adversity, John. I like Breece Hall. He's Cam vetted. He's a 40-time guy. He was an absolute rock. He was Elvis in college, okay? This freaking guy was Elvis, dude. I'm telling you.
And now he's left the building.
And I mean, he's had good moments in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
But injuries are piling up. The team doesn't want to pay him. You've got these 2 other guys that look ready to go. I just think I think Breece Hall is going to crash this year, and I think Braylon Allen's going to be a thing.
Okay. So I'm going to be selfish for a minute here. So I got this big draft, Superflex auction, which is like the Wild West. There's not really research on it. What would your strategy be? And it's an expert league. It's like a $250 buy-in. Luke Wilson's in the league, former tight end. So where would you be going?
Okay, I'm going to give you advice, and it's advice that I can never follow when I'm in an auction draft.
Okay. Hit me.
John, I've been doing auction drafts
Since before there were auction drafts.
I mean, my God, look, we got to go back. Oh my God, I'll just say the mid 1990s. I've been doing auction drafts, Fantasy Football Weekly, Fanball.com, Paul Charchi, and all those guys. I was there 12 years with those guys, so we did all these auction drafts, right? I was not a good auction drafter, John. I get impatient. Okay. I do. And I get guys, right? And I'm like, F you. Like I ain't leaving this auction without this guy. So what did that bleeds you like $7-8 more, right? And the bid up, you're 53 up to 61, all that kind of stuff you don't want to do, right? My advice, John, is to wait, be patient. And it's so painful though. Like, that guy's off the board. That guy's off the board. But John, I'm telling you right now, every single auction I've ever been in my life, the guy that waits and waits and waits and waits and waits and has all the money, and there might not be Saquon Barkley and CMC and Justin Jefferson, but every damn time at the end of the draft, I look at his team and I go, I would trade my team for his team right now. There's no doubt about it. He's got 4 stud backs. I got 2. All right. But they're bigger names, right? Yeah. He's got like 2 stack of stud QBs. I barely got 1 decent one. He's got 5 wide receivers because, deep in the wide receiver thing's a big old pool, right? There's so many like good, enticing wide receivers. He'll have like 5 of those guys that everybody loves. And while receivers of a similar stature are going for 30, 35, 37, he's getting them for 13.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, he just got DK Metcalf for 11, right? Stuff like that. So my advice would be to wait, my friend, but it's very, very, very hard to do.
It is. Okay, what about so QBs? What would you go give me two studs? So last year I got Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, or maybe wait and try and get like a Jared Goff, Drake May, maybe get a Michael Penix, get like four guys for cheaper rather than front loaded with studs.
I'd rather spend my money on running backs and wide receivers because we just talked about it. A 2-quarterback league. What if Goff and Caleb are your QBs? I feel
Not
pretty
bad.
good. I feel pretty good about that. What if you're, Baker and Bo Nix, dude?
Yeah.
I got Baker and Bo Nix. I'm huge on Bo Nix this year. So that's the direction I would go. And John, and then here's what you hope for, right? All right, because then you want, anytime it comes for me to bring up a name in an auction draft, except for late when I'm trying to get the $1 defense or the $1 kicker or whatever, right? Then I'm bringing up my guys. Or like the $1 late sleeper guy that I actually kind of want. But early in the draft, when you're trying to bleed money, I just go to the biggest name on the board. And like, okay, I don't want Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce for $1, and then everybody feeds on him and it bleeds money, right? So that's my methodology. But for you would want the quarterbacks to slip so you've got some nice choices when people are getting low on money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. There's always a little sweet spot in an auction where like everyone spent a little bit more than they wanted, and it's like, oh, they know they should maybe bid on this guy, but they can't risk getting him.
And that's where you swoop in, man. But I'm telling, so I'm in an auction league, John, with my homies from college. Like it's a home league, and like it's a bragging rights, talk shit league, and all that kind of stuff. And it's an auction draft. I'm literally considering setting an alarm for an hour after the draft starts. I think
buying anyone for that hour.
No. I think I'm actually going to do that because if I sit there for that first hour and monitor the draft, I get butthurt and I get impatient and oh my God, all these guys and I start to get panicked, right? Like there's going to be nobody left for me. Well, this draft goes like 3 hours long. Yeah, it takes forever for this draft. So I literally think I'm chopping off the first hour of the draft just to experiment. Because I've never done that. And guess what, John? I usually don't like my team leaving that auction. So it's like Costanza. I'm going to do the opposite this year.
I get that. And that makes sense. But I find with auctions, there's usually kind of two directions it goes. People go spend money for the studs and they're up front, or the studs go undervalued early. And then that kind of or opposite depresses everyone else's value, right? See, you maybe don't want to bid on anyone. You got to see what those first 10 guys go for. Because if they're going, 75, people are going to run out of money. But if they're getting Bijan for like 62, right, then it's like when you want to go after that hour, you're still not going to be getting value on anyone.
It's a dicey game, obviously. What I've noticed, John, with that idea that you just brought up is, usually even at the top of the draft, Bijan and Jamar, and they're full freight, man. And they're such hot button guys. Saquon, right? People are going to love bidding up for Saquon this year. And I think it's so foolish, but they're going to. But there is always one or two, and this is like early in the auction, round 1, round 2. There's a guy or two that should go for 58 that goes for 49. All right. Every auction I've been in, there's that one guy you're like, whoa. The bidding just stopped? That guy's off the board for 49. And so finding that guy and when that moment is difficult. But I still find that most of those guys are full freight early in because that's when everybody's got all the cash and the draft just started.
They're excited.
And people are geeked and stuff like that. So which I get. I usually fall prey to that stuff too.
I call it the auction bubble. It's this little period where about 4 or 5 guys, nobody wants to bid on them, right? And it's like, Mike Evans for $8. Like, DK Metcalf for like 6. And it's like people can't believe what happened, but everyone's looking at their team and counting how much money they have. And it's like these unsexy guys. And like that's where you want to pounce. That's where the winners happen. But it's hard to be patient enough to get to the bubble. And sometimes the bubble bursts and doesn't even exist.
And all of that is true. That's the deep end of fantasy football drafting. Whenever you bring the auction into it, that is the super, especially like you said with 2 QBs. That's in a high stakes like that. That's going to be a fun auction for you, man. I'm psyched to see who you get in that one.
Yeah, it's the best. It's tomorrow. I'll be posting it. Okay, so I think that's going to do it for us, Rick. That was awesome. You're always bring the heat. There's no better way to spend an hour. So just anyone, right? NFL Fantasy Today show. You can follow Rick at Rick Campbell Sports, me at Jon Mosales. Remember, check out our draft guide because even if you're drafting, even if you already drafted, we still got tons of value every day, every week. It's the best deal in town. And then we just dropped the fantasy basketball guide, which is the moneymaker, and that is the best fantasy guide in the game.
I mean, John, I say this humbly. You've got me, Steve Alexander, and Aaron Brewski. We are three of the Mount Rushmore of fantasy basketball. I don't know who the fourth is. Probably Andre. He would hate me saying that, but probably Andre. But I can factually, objectively, I can tell you that me and Dr. A and our boy Brew are three of the four at least founding fathers of fantasy basketball, and we're all here at Sports Ethos. So almost. Yes, it's the best fantasy basketball product on earth. Yes. I'm going to agree with you on that.
If you got more than one fantasy league, you can't afford not to get the guides. But all right, Rick, man, do you have any last bit of fantasy football wisdom for anyone out there drafting? Something a hill to die on?
I appreciate you having me on again, John. I love coming on here and chopping it up with you. Take Derrick Henry. Just take him. And I this is probably like super chalky and dumb, but I've like in our draft, Derrick Henry went 12th. Huh? 12th? What the hell? No, come on. It's not even close. Henry is in the running for the second overall pick in fantasy football drafts for me. The guy's money. He's a touchdown every single week. So stop sleeping on Derrick Henry if it's only by 4 or 5 picks, but get as much D Henry as you can.
All right, get to the Henry. All right, that's it for us. So check us out. Check Thursday. We got a best ball draft with Anthony, which is tomorrow. Cool. All right, thanks, guys.